You are where you are right now in your life, in your business, because of you. Because of your mindset, your actions, your habits, your beliefs, you're where you're at because of you. It's nobody else's fault. You're not further behind. You're not lower than you used to be. You're not further behind on your goals, but you're also not further ahead. You're not where you want to be. And it's because of you. It's not the government's fault. It's not the tax policy fault. It's not your country's fault. It's not your parents' fault, your education's fault. It's your friend's fault. It's none of those things. It's you. It's you, 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 it's you. And listen, at the beginning, that sounds like a lot of tough medicine. It's like, well, it's not my fault. I mean, sure, it's my fault, but come on, look at what happened. COVID happened, all this other stuff happened, and it's easy to put the blame on something else. But when you can actually realize that you are where you are because of you, it's not just a tough love, it's actually the most empowering thing of all time. Because when you take the responsibility, it doesn't mean that's your fault. It doesn't mean that you can change anything that you've done in the past, but it's your responsibility to get to a different place. It's not about assigning blame. It's about taking responsibility, which is the ability to respond, right? Responsibility equals the ability to respond. Do you have an ability to respond? Yes. When? Always. COVID happened? Great. Do you have an ability to respond? Yes. What are you doing about it? And while most people are upset and complaining and waiting for the government to do something, you're off responding. You're off making a change. You're off making a difference, making a pivot, making new things happen. That's what separates successful people from everybody else. And I want that for you. So it recognizes that, okay, here I'm stuck here. This is where I am right now. I don't want to stay stuck here. I want to change. I want to grow. I've got a big mission that I have to go off and accomplish. How do you do that? You change your mindset, you change your beliefs, you change your habits, and it starts with you accepting responsibility for where you're at. I've got, my main channel, 3 million subscribers. I'm not at 10. I'm not at 1. I'm not at 50 subscribers. And so the point isn't beat ourselves up. I'm grateful for everything that I've done. I'll own the fact that, hey, I got us to building an organization, a team, a structure, making 10,000 videos to now, I've got 3 million subscribers. Amazing. Great. Pat on the back. And I'm not at 10. I'm not at 10 because I need to get better. The videos need to get better. The team needs to get better. The strategy needs to get better. The production needs to get better. Everything needs to get better for me to get to where I want to go. It's easy for me to say, well, nobody's done that inside of thought leadership. Nobody's done it before. Nobody has a 10 million subscriber channel inside of thought leadership. Nobody. I could say people don't care about education that much. I could say, well, I don't have as many resources as somebody who's further ahead or part of some giant corporation. Right? I don't have as many resources. I could say, well, I'm introverted and shy, and so I can't be great. There's a ceiling to how good I can be, right? And these are the kinds of thinking that are fear-based, that keep you small, because we don't want to accept the responsibility, because the responsibility feels like blame. And that's where we have to separate it. It's not about blame. It's not saying that you suck. It's not saying you should have done something different. It's not beating ourselves up. It's the ability to respond. I'm not trying to blame anything for where I'm at. And I hope you're not blaming yourself or anybody around you for where you're at. But it's taken on the ability to say, you know what, I don't want to end up in the same spot. If I'm a year from now and I'm still at X, right, then I'm going to be upset. Because I can change. You can change. So how do we do it? How do we start to develop that sense of responsibility? How do we start to actually take the action that we need to take action on? A couple things. One, change your environment. If you're surrounded by people, by thinking, where it's constantly complaining, especially blaming, like watch out for people who blame. Watch out for people who say, well, it's that person's fault, it's their fault, it's this person's fault, it's their fault over there, and never accepting any responsibility. Or they're just constantly trying to blame other people, right? Watch out for those people. Don't be infected by their cancer. That's a cancer. that person is never going to be happy. You need to really dramatically reduce the amount of time that you're spending with those kinds of people, and then inject it with more of the positivity, more of the optimism, more of the responsibility. Whatever you want more of in your life, if it's accepting responsibility, surround yourself with the people who are doing it. Surround yourself with the people who have that mindset, either in person or through videos like this. I may never meet you, but you can learn from this. You may never meet Jordan Peterson, but you can learn from this video, right? You can learn from their content, their videos, their books, their podcasts. So it's an immediate change in your environment, because you are a product of your environment. Your environment impacts your subconscious. You're not even consciously knowing, but if you're around people who are blaming other people all the time, you're going to just by default start to blame other people, start to complain a lot of the time. You'll have to consciously make the shift to say, I don't want to be this person. Why am I complaining so much? Why am I so negative and nasty? Why am I blaming other people so much? Look at your environment. That's the reason why, right? So we're cutting out or restricting access to the people who are in that blaming, complaining mode, and we're injecting positivity in through humans, through videos, books, podcasts, etc. Right? Step number 1, change your environment. Step number 2 is recognize the situation for what it is. No worse than it is, but no better than it is. What is the situation right now? So if I'm looking at my main YouTube channel and I'm trying to grow it, okay, where am I at? I'm at 3 million subscribers. Great. It's no worse than it is. It's not like, oh, I suck and I don't know what to do and I'm not grateful for anything that we've built. It's looking at, what do I have? I've got this channel. I've got some amazing, people in the community. I've got an amazing team of people who help me. It's great for where I'm at. It's no worse than it is. We tend to beat ourselves up and feel like we're further behind, but it's also no better than it is. It's not where I want to be yet. And we're still not good enough at anything. We're not good enough at production, at thumbnails, at titles, at editing, at me being on camera. Like we're not good enough at any of this stuff. None of it, right? That's where we need to be. So you're changing your environment. Step number 1, to have a more optimistic, more positive, more energetic, more happy environment around this. 2, we're then looking at the situation for what is the truth of it. No worse than it is, but no better than it is. When it's worse, we pound on ourselves and tell ourselves we suck. When it's better, we feel like we don't have to change because everything is great, right? So no worse than it is, no better. And then 3 is, what are your actual steps? What are you going to do? What's the plan of action? When you can look at the truth of the situation, what needs to actually improve? How do you actually start making progress towards your goals? What are the habits, routines, mindset, belief shifts that you need to make on a daily basis? Like, what does today now look like? Not just in theory of, I need to believe in myself more. Awesome. Yes, I love it. That's changing your environment. How does that apply to today? Like, what are you going to do today that's different than what you did yesterday? What are you going to do this week that's different than what you did last week? What's the new plan? What's the new plan that you're going to execute on every single day to move closer to actually accomplishing your goals? And if you can follow that process, you can follow those steps, and it's a continuous loop, right? You're never done on any of it. You're never done. You're always trying to improve your environment. Always. You're always trying to improve your environment. You're always trying to see the world for what it is right now. See your situation for what it is right now. I know you're always trying to create a plan to then actually execute to help you get closer to your goals. Always. And that's not hopefully stressful to you, because you always want to be growing. You always want to be learning. You always want to be improving. The day the progress stops, the day you stop liking your life. If there was no progress, no growth, no change, you wouldn't like your life. You'd be bored. Go get a job. That's what most people do. And most people don't like their life because they're in a really, really boring job, right? So you have these steps on loop, on repeat. And that's how you start getting closer to becoming the person you want to be and achieving the goals that you want. At the start of all of this, though, it's still the accepting responsibility. Responsibility does not equal blame. You are where you are because of you, because of the choices that you made, because of the beliefs that you have, because of the actions that you have taken. You are where you are because of those actions. And that's gotten you so far. And if you want to change, you want to grow, you want to improve, you want to hit your mission, you want to get closer to hitting your goals, you now have to take responsibility for the person you need to become to actually make those dreams a reality. If you want another Evan Rant video that just might give you the confidence you need, check it out right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it.
continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
The fear of regret is one of the most powerful tools at your disposal to help you get into action mode. Let me explain.